Before we present our last song of the evening, we just wanted to take a moment and say thank you to a few people. First of all, Chris, Danielle, Becky, they're all working over there at our tech team. Your fabulous servers. The music man and star of the show, Michael Lavine, who saved our butt. And most importantly, to all of you for supporting us and keeping these songs alive. So thank you for being here tonight. It means the world.
Yes, and I think let's also all give a big hand for Rob Schneider, who's produced hundreds of these fabulous shows here at 54 Below. Amazing, of course. So for our final song of the night, one of the most anticipated musicals in the 2008 season was Minsky's, a musical adaptation of the 1968 film The Night They Raided Minsky's that tried out in Los Angeles. With a score by Charles Strouse and Susan Birkenhead, plus book and direction by the Drowsy Chaperones Bob Martin and Casey Nicholaw, respectively, expectations were high, but the show didn't garner much interest in a Broadway dominated by Spring Awakenings and Next to Normals.
To recreate their acclaimed performances as Minsky's burlesque house's put-upon accountant and oh so very untalented Corinne. Please welcome two of Minsky's original cast members, Mr. John Cariani and Miss Rachel Dratch.
Yes, expectations were high for all of us. Yes, yeah, maybe a little higher though, right? So as they were just saying, Minsky's...
We have to use our words because Rachel was doing Celebrity Jeopardy, so we didn't get to rehearse.
That's a good excuse, isn't it? But I could have looked on the plane, but I didn't.
Yeah.
No, so...
Stand closer to me.
So Minsky's...
It's okay.
So, yes, so John played Jason, the put-upon accountant who kept... And Chris Fitzgerald was the star. I mean, this thing was going places.
Yeah.
Like, I guess everyone thought about all the shows.
Kevin Cahoon was in it.
Kevin Cahoon.
Beth Level was in it.
Yeah, Beth Level, yeah. And so anyway, so the little plot line was that the guy who was leasing the theater, the guy who owned the theater, forced Chris Minsky to put me, Beulah, in the show. And it was just me and all these chorus girls everywhere, and I had no comic timing and no singing voice, as you're about to discover. So that was sort of the plot, and then, and I just have to say this. So I have this new podcast coming out. It's coming out this week, and it's called Woo Woo with Rachel Dratch. It's stories of, like, eerie things that happen to my friends. But anyways, the reason I'm saying that is A, to get a plug out of this evening, and secondly, because the very first episode is Broadway's Kevin Cahoon, who tells a ghost story. But we talk a lot about Minsky's in the podcast because that's how we met too. And oh, by the way.
Yeah, wait.
By the way, one more thing.
Yeah.
And this is in the podcast. But during that time, I happened to go to this psychic. I don't go to psychics that often, but this was one time I did. And I went to a psychic, and she told me that Minsky's was not going to make it to Broadway. I swear. And it was during the run of the show. We were at the Amundsen for 2 months. Like, the costumes were amazing. Greg Barnes, like, showgirl costumes. Anyway, she told me it wasn't going to go to Broadway. I had to come back and tell Kevin, like, this ain't going, you know. And we didn't believe it, but she was right, so...
So we meet in the second act, and
oh yeah, sorry, he's bringing us back to the show, and I'm talking about my.
I'm the accountant who doesn't like being with show business people at all, and she doesn't like being in the.
I'm not a theater person.
And sketches,
right.
yeah, and so we hang out. We smoke cigarettes.
Yes.
Right, we smoked some cigarettes outside by the garbage cans. I remember that.
Yes, and it's all about how we hate theater, and but there is a big dance break in this.
Yes.
I'm serious. And the dance break really brought the house down. We'll see if that happens tonight. I don't know. Okay. And here we take you to Minsky's.
I want a life where pies are dessert, where flowers are flowers and none of them squirt.
Where buttons are something you sew on a shirt, blouse or a skirt.
And G isn't followed by string.
I want a life where people don't sing
I want a life where pasty means glue,
Where sketches are something an artist once drew.
and places mean Pittsburgh or Kalamazoo,
Buffalo too.
and wings are the things that birds flap.
I want a life where people don't clap.
This isn't it.
You can say that again.
Okay, this isn't it.
Amen.
Amen. I want a life that's quiet and tame,
Where dicks aren't jokes, they're just somebody's name.
and balls are for catching or playing a game,
No one's called Flame.
and houses have sofas and plants. I want a life where people don't clap
or laugh.
or dance.
I want a life where I can take naps.
Where I can drink coffee without hearing taps.
Where nobody hollers and nobody yaps.
They just shut their traps.
Everything's quiet as hell.
I want a life where people don't yell
Or dance.
or clap.
Or laugh.
I want a life. Yeah, I want a life.
Alive.
A life. I want a
Cariani, Rachel Dratch, Lavine, Charles Kirsch, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you at Broadway Bound 5. Good night.